Have you ever heard of iPad kids? Well, if you haven't, they're children who spend majority of their time on their tablets. They rarely ever go outside, and when they do, they don't do much. When their tablets die, they scream and cry because they can't use them anymore. Their brain development has changed because of their dependence on these electronic devices. Today, I'm going to talk about how too much screen time can negatively affect a child's brain development and why we should limit their screen time. I think I'm qualified to tell you this because I've experienced this firsthand. I have a little brother who spends a lot of time on his tablet, and I've done extensive research on this topic. As children continue to grow, we need to remember that as their caretakers, it is our responsibility to make sure that they're developing properly so they can live full and happy lives. Today, we're going to talk about why we should limit kids' screen times because they hurt the brain development of children. In order to figure out how to properly fix our iPad kids' problems with too much screen time, we need to figure out how it's negatively affecting their brain development and why it's a problem. Children are suffering mentally in their development because overusage of electronics. When children spend their every waking moment on electronics, it takes away from everything else that helps them with their brain development. As mentioned in the National Library of Medicine's effects of excessive screen time on child development, the internet can have both a positive and negative effect. A positive effect coming from learning to read applications and online books, but there's more often more bad than good. For example, multimedia tasking can really hurt teens and children's inhibition, working memory, and their ability to switch between tasks. Not only will this affect the way that their brain grows, but it can spawn mental illnesses. When kids get bored, they might decide to play video games, and while that doesn't seem like a problem, it really takes a toll on their brain development. In the National Library of Medicine's effect on excessive screen time on child development, it states, computer use and video gaming, but not television viewing, were shown to be connected with more severe depressive symptoms when looking at the effects of various types of screens. In this quote, it shows that not only the materials that the children are viewing affects them, but also the lights that they're viewing them from. Children's social and emotional development is taking a big hit from unhealthy amounts of screen time. When children are exposed to excess amounts of screen time, their social and emotional development can take a huge hit. It's as shown in the National Library of Medicine's effects of excessive screen time on child development. Great amounts of television screen time within 4-year-olds can hurt their brain development a lot. When they turn 6, they already have less emotional development than children who don't have TVs in their room. And when they turn 8, continuing to have TVs when they are 6, they have even less than children who do not have TVs in their rooms. Them lacking this emotional understanding can hurt both them and the people around them. They might not understand why a friend's upset, or they might not be able to properly regulate their own emotions, turning small things into even bigger things. Now that we know how too much screen time can negatively affect children, let's see how children with limited screen time can grow. Children need a way to express their creativity through both online and offline interactions. When children are developing, they naturally become so creative, and it's amazing. This can be where limited screen time can really help our children grow. Online tools can be really helpful, but they often take away from the offline tools and the developmental process of offline activities. When kids use offline activities, such as drawing on a piece of paper, reading a book, or going outside and running, they're developing crucial problem-solving skills. As stated in Harvard's Screen Time in the Brain, children need a diverse menu of online and offline experiences, including the chance to let their minds wander. This quote shows how important online can be to kids' development, but that's only when it's paired with offline experiences as well. Children would grow with better social skills by engaging in interpersonal activities rather than an impersonal screen. When children spend more time online than offline, it can hurt their social skills a lot. I have a little brother who spends majority of his time on his gaming system, and while he does go outside, he has an unhealthy ratio of gaming to outdoor activities. When he does go outside and play, he has fun with his friends, but he has a hard time expressing how he truly feels. He often over-exaggerates and doesn't know how to properly express himself. While he does use his video games to stimulate his brain, childcare.gov, supporting children's learning through play, states that a little boredom is healthy for kids. It can help children develop more important life skills like being able to plan, organize, be flexible, manage feelings of frustration, and solve problems. This statement shows that children who spend less time on screens are able to grow these problem-solving skills even more than children who are on their screens constantly. When they develop these subcategories of skills, they learn to manage their frustrations and emotions better, resulting in better social interactions and skills. We know what's hurting our children. Now the next step is to prevent more underdevelopment in future generations. Children should be able to entertain themselves without hurting their development. Children get bored often and sometimes really fast, which is why they fall back onto their electronics. So instead of letting them overdo their screen time, we as caretakers need to find activities and encourage them to do them with us. That way they grow these much needed social skills and develop their brains while also spending much needed time with their parents. If nothing changes, more children will suffer. If we sit back and continue letting the children of our nation glue themselves to screens, nothing will change. These children will grow up and they will see nothing wrong with the amount of screen time that they have been given, and then they will let their children do the same. What we need to do is we need to correct their development and break the cycle before it gets to continue and hurt more development in our future generations. We should limit our children's screen time, because overuse of screen time can really hurt our children's brain development. Children overusing their screens, spending every waking moment on their electronics, is hurting their social, emotional, mental, and language development skills is not helping them. If we truly care for the children and our future, then we as caretakers should make sure that we care about their development and make sure they grow up healthily.